Questions for Coach?
Mark, just your thoughts on the poise that your team showed in the second half and what stood out to you about the way that they finished this game?
Yeah, I mean, great 48-minute effort out of the team, great poise. Obviously, New Orleans made a couple big runs at us, end of the second and then beginning of the fourth. And thought our guys just had a great temperament in the huddles, got back to our stuff. You know, we weren't perfect tonight, but got back to our habits, and it was great effort out of the team.
It seemed like offensively you all really trusted the pass, trusted making plays out of the doubles. How impressed were you with this young team to be able to stick with that mentally as much as physically?
Yeah, we knew they were going to double team. They had done that all year. That's been kind of their strategy. It had been effective during the regular season, so we were expecting them to do that. I thought our guys just did a really good job of getting it. You know, Shea got it out of there, and then the first guy that got it, you know, kept it hot, and then the next guys played on the catch. And I thought, you know, we had really good attacks out of that.
And Josh seems to take advantage of smaller defenders and just play with great physicality. I know that's not something that maybe he was doing at this level this time last year.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, first of all, he was great tonight. Just unbelievable force, great toughness, both ends, class, everything. But the other thing is, I think it's important to recognize, like, a lot of the things that showed up in the game tonight are things that we've been trying to build, you know, obviously through this season, but even before this season. A lot of this core has been together for 2 years or 1 year before this. And I thought a lot of those habits showed up tonight. You know, we were able to lean back on those when we really needed them, and great carryover by the guys, not only with the game plan, but kind of with our base fundamentals.
Mark, Luke kept you guys in it offensively to start with all of those threes, and then some really big possessions defensively, especially down the stretch. What do you think of his all-around game?
Yeah, I mean, he's just, you know, I've talked about it a bunch of times. It just happens to be on this stage now, but it's not his first time doing it on this stage either. He's just a you know, visceral competitor, and amps up in these games. He loves these environments. He's not afraid. He helps our team stick its chest out. Offensively, he was great. I thought he took good shots in the first half. They were denying Shea. Shea was pretty, you know, adamant about trying to get the other guys going. I thought that showed he had great maturity. Lou was one of the beneficiaries of that. And we were, you know, we had 50-something points at halftime, and Shea had only had 7 points. I thought, you know, it was a combination of Shea's poise and then the rest of the guys making plays.
As far as Shea getting going scoring, 7 points was his season low for a first half. Like,
yep.
What changed for him during that third quarter?
A couple different things. I think the first one was early on, I think he knew how he was going to get played, and he's got the poise to basically get the other guys going and be a screener and be a weak side spacer. And I thought he gave our other players confidence in the first half. And then we probably were a little late to insert him the way we did in the third. You know, me personally, could have done a better job, like end of the first half, of getting him the ball a little bit more in better spots. And then we made that adjustment at halftime, and obviously he was cooking in the third.
You talked about a lot of habits showing up tonight, things that you guys have been building. You played in a lot of close games this season, and especially down the stretch of this one. How many of those close game sort of habits and experiences showed up for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I thought great situational execution by the players. Managed the clock really well, got ourselves in a position where we'd have the last possession even if they scored. Great job with the fouling, giving a foul and then fouling up 3. Great job on the full court plays. You know, they had to earn those. Great job getting the ball in bounds, both, you know, on our side out and quickening it in under the basket. You know, I just thought the guys, again, showed great, like, confidence and poise in those situations.
And then with J-Dub and his matchup on McCollum, just what did you think of his overall effort on that end?
Yeah, he continues to just, you know, no stage is too big for him. He's so competitive. He's so physical, plays really hard. His output tonight defensively was big time. Obviously, his offensive night wasn't as loud as the other guys, but, you know, was really in the game.
Josh just said yesterday we have to be aggressive, and for him, he played that role tonight.
Yeah, you know, we all season I've been impressed with the team's confidence. Even coming into the season, you know, before we'd even played a game together, there's a swagger and a confidence inside the group. I think a lot of it comes from, it's kind of uncommon for a team as young as we are, but I think a lot of it comes from the fact that it's a collective swagger. They feed off of each other. They encourage each other. There's no judgment inside the team. They build each other up. And so then you go out there, in an environment like this, and everybody can stick their chest out. And, I thought that was clearly on display tonight.
Valanciunas had those early offensive rebounds and putbacks kind of imposed as well early, a little bit in the fourth quarter, but not so much. I mean, how did you guys adjust to that and the size advantage that he had?
Yeah, some of it was we were moving Jay Will and Dario up for McCollum and Ingram to get some of their jump shots contested. They make you do that. And then Valanciunas has free runs to the rim. So some of them are just like a tactical trade-off that you're making. You got to choose your poison. But once the shot goes up, the wings have to crash in there and crack them. And I thought we did a better job of that after the first couple minutes of the game. But I just thought our discipline to the game plan tonight, even when it went off course a little bit, we were able to get it back on track very quickly.
You mentioned poise 5 times in last week or so. You talked about building up, not changing things because you built up that equity to get to that point. Is that the result of that poise? Yeah,
I just think, it's another thing that we've been honing over, 3 years really, is just not getting reactive to the outcomes in the game, the outcomes in the season, just like keeping our head down on our environment, day to day, and then our habits day to day, and then possession by possession in the games. And I think it's important, the guys were, they looked very comfortable tonight, in that environment. But that didn't happen just today. That's been built over a period of time, and, they're reaping the benefits of that now.
Then you brought Shea back a little bit earlier than you normally would. Was that because it's a do-or-die game, or was it just you saw the game getting a little out of hand for you guys?
No, it's just where we are in the season. You can play higher minutes. This is why you pace during the season, is so that there's gas in the tank for these situations. We're also coming off 6 days off. I thought that was huge, getting that done in Utah and being able to sit those guys out on Sunday. We got some gas back in the tank, and we were able to sustain great energy through the 48 tonight.
And J-Dub and J-Will don't particularly shoot the ball well, but they did pretty much everything else well. Can you just talk about what they gave you guys?
Yeah, their nose was in the fight tonight. Everybody that touched the floor, but those guys in particular. Jay Will on Valanciunas, he had his chest on him. And obviously Dub I've already talked about. Again, for rookie players, the confidence and the attack mentality they had to both ends of the floor was impressive.
Just big picture.
We got time for 2 more, everybody. Go ahead.
Has obviously adjusted how he scored a lot this year and how teams have kind of changed how they defended him. It's not kind of a perfect example of how he has adjusted in just countering how teams defend him and then knowing when to pick his spots a little bit.
Yeah, and I think the thing that, some of these guys that are as good as he is, it's obviously a big game. It's a game we want to win. It's a game he wants to perform well in. And early in the game, they get hasty. It's just natural. It's human nature. You want to force. You want to make something happen. It's not going the way that you might have thought. And he's always been like this, but his, poise in those situations to just let the game unfold, let the game come to him, and his awareness to try to activate his teammates. Like he's been here, he knows the environment, but some of these guys haven't. And early in the game, he's really trying to ignite those guys. And then down the stretch, when we need to make plays and they're taking the ball out of his hands, those guys are ready to make plays. Jalen Williams, Jay Will stepping into a 3. We throw it to Giddey in the pocket. We hit J-Dub on a cut. Obviously, Dort was rolling. And he deserves a lot of credit for that because he didn't try to insert himself in an inappropriate way. He just did everything inside the team, inside the game.
Josh, on the coach, the way he plays beyond his years, I think we forget a lot of times he's 20.
Yeah.
The second youngest guy on this team. The way he processes the game is super advanced. Is there anything he does, like watching a bunch of film? Is it preparation, or is it just natural for him?
I don't know how natural it is. It's a great question for him. I would call him an instinctive player. He's just got unbelievable instincts, like unteachable. At this point, maybe he learned them early on, but really, really high instinct, and now is getting like the intellect and the wisdom of experience, to back that. In terms of the way he gets played, in terms of the way that we attack different coverages, and then defensively who he's guarding. it's basically we're trying to like build up the foundation underneath his instincts. But, most of that stuff that you're seeing, especially, when he's in the pocket or, when the defense is giving him a read, I mean, he's just playing.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Josh, obviously just one game can't draw anything crazy from it, but what did you like about poise and just the mental toughness that you guys were able to show in this situation?
I think, when they went on that run, they got up 19-10. We had to call the first timeout. They had, momentum going. And I think our response out of that timeout, set us up going forward for the rest of the night. I think after that, that timeout, a lot of the game was played on our terms. We made a lot of the offense tough. We pushed them out of their stuff. Ingram, CJ was playing in the crowd all night. They're two talented guys, so we had to make it hard on them. And I think Lou, Dub, our primary defenders, did an awesome job. But credit to the group. It was a resilient night. They keep making runs. They got in front with a couple minutes left, but we stuck with it and grinded out. A big win in a tough environment to play in.
We talked before the game just about having to play out of their doubles and go 4-on-3 or 3-on-2. What did you like best about the way that you guys just kept trusting it?
Yeah, I mean, it started with Shea. They were trapping him, and he was getting off the ball, making the right read, a lot of the night. We had a couple turnovers early, but after that, we figured it out, and he was great. He made the right read, and we were playing, 4-on-3 for a lot of the night. So he's going to see that, a lot as we continue to get better as a team and get deeper into the postseason. Teams are going to start throwing double teams at him and blitzes, so it's up to us other guys around him to make his job easy, make plays, and I think tonight, the rest of the guys did their job, and as I said, big win, but it was a very, very good team win.
Mark just talked about your physicality and the force that you played with on both ends of the floor. How did it feel out there? Yeah,
it felt good. I mean, it felt like a playoff game. It felt like what I thought it would feel like. And it was my first one, so it was what I expected. Not even just the physicality of the game, but the crowd, the environment. It was a hostile place to play. And they're the type of games, when you grow up, you want to be involved in. And for me, this was as good as I could have imagined my first playoff experience being. But yeah, they're a physical team. It starts with Valanciunas. He's big on the boards, and he got a hold of us early. But once we cleaned that up, and I think Jay Will did a great job in that second half of keeping him off the glass, and our other guards and wings came in and helped him out. So it was a team effort on the boards, but a lot of the credit goes to Jay Will for continuing to hit with him down low for a lot of the night.
Did you feel like you needed to step up a little bit more with the way they were playing the Shea?
Yeah, I mean, just try to play my game. The lane started opening up, knocked down a few shots, and just felt good. Got into a bit of a rhythm. Coming out of halftime, and obviously with teams throwing double teams at Shea, other guys are going to have to step up and make plays, and I was trying to do that tonight. I thought Lou did a great job, Dub did a great job, so we had a lot of guys contribute in a big way tonight, and that's what we need, and we're going to continue to need going forward.
Then you mentioned playing your game. Looked like you were using your size a little bit more tonight. Was that you saying I need to do that, or was that just you taking what the defense was giving you?
Yeah, a bit of both. I knew that when they were trying to take the ball out of Shea's hand, I had to be aggressive, had to make plays, whether that was scoring or finding other guys, just forcing the defense to make a decision. And, some of the night that was getting downhill, finishing at the rim, or, floaters, or when the defense collapsed onto me, kicking out the shooters or drop-offs to layups and dunks. So making the right read. And as I said, we're going to continue to see that same, coverages with Shea. And I'm going to have to, learn how to play out of that pocket and, create advantages out of 4-on-3 situations.
This wasn't the first time Shea was doubled or somebody was trying to no-catch him. It seemed like they were doing it a lot more than anybody all season. So what was the adjustment like playing 4-on-4, 4-on-3 for most of the game?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously went over that prior to the game. We knew that New Orleans does it probably more than any other team in the league. And they were trying to take the ball out of his hands, and they did a good job in that first half. But credit to Shea, he stuck with it. Didn't have a good first half by any stretch, by his high expectations. But the way he came out in that second half and led us to a big win, that's why he's one of the best players in the league. And teams are going to throw all sorts of coverages at him, but nothing rattles him. He came out of the break and got straight to it. So none of the stuff he sees is new to him. And as I said, when he does get doubled, it's up to us other guys around him to try and make his life easier.
You mentioned Chase, nothing rattles him. How did his poise, just in general, kind of help kind of steadied the team tonight overall?
Yeah, when your leader is not flustered and is under control out there, it's a spiral effect. Guys see that and feed off it. So as I said, it would have been very easy for him to come out of halftime, press in, trying to get his game going, but he let it come naturally. He finished with 30 after a tough first half. So it just speaks to how good of a player he is. And when he wasn't scoring, he was making the right read, getting off the ball. So to your question, when your leader is not worried about his own performance and is worried about getting the win, it sends a strong message to the rest of the guys, and guys bought into that tonight, and that's why we got the win.
Josh, you guys are in a lot of close games this season, and obviously this one went down to the stretch. How much did you feel like you guys were able to kind of rely on those habits that you guys really built?
Yeah, we've been battle tested. We've been in a lot of close games, as you said. So this isn't foreign to our group, and I think just understanding little things. We were up 3, we fouled, sent them to the line, they missed 1. So just little things like that, that get you over the edge down the stretch. But I thought we did a great job of not getting rattled when they went up 2. Ingram got that offensive rebound, the dunk. We called a timeout, and out of that timeout, I thought we executed well. I missed a floater. We missed a couple things, easy shots. Lou missed a 3 in transition, but nothing ever phased us. So I think it's such a young group, but it's such a composed team, and that's how you have to be down the stretch of tight games like that.
Mark said you guys had gas in the tank because the starters were off for 6 days. How beneficial was that?
Very. A lot of our starters played 40 minutes tonight, so I guess that 5-6 day rest was much needed, and it was good for us. But we got a good practice in, got our wind under us, so it wasn't like we were coming off 6 days of no hard, intense kind of workouts. So it was definitely good, but no rest when it comes to the postseason.